very warm welcome to another exciting episode of the InstaHire Roundtable. My name is Akash. I am the CEO at the InstaHire company, and today we are going to deep dive into a topic that's been creating quite a buzz in the HR world. That is the topic of hiring digital nomads. Is this going to be the future workspace, or is just a fad? Right? We've got a fantastic lineup for you and two incredible speakers who are expert in talent acquisition. But before we jump in, let's get the stage a bit first. So, the topic, the digital nomads, are these adventurous souls who are working from anywhere and with just a Wi Fi connection, right? So, that's been heralded as the future of work nowadays, right? But are they truly the game changer everyone claims, or just a passing trend? Today, we are going to find out with our speakers' insights, right? So, let me introduce our speakers for today. Joining us today are the two leaders who have been at the forefront of navigating this evolving landscape. First off, we have Sagar Kulkarni, the Senior Director of Talent Acquisition at Zenov. Sagar is a strategic mastermind in crafting talent frameworks and that aligns seamlessly with business growth. With extensive experience in both local and global markets, he has some deep insights into how organization can adapt to this new way of working. He has previously worked with multinational companies like Conferry, AMS, Allegis Global Solutions, City, and few others. So, welcome, Sagar. Uh,
Hi everyone, glad to be on the session.
right. And now we are equally thrilled to have Dr. Lakshman Kumar with us. He's the Senior Director at Talent Acquisition for Digital Engineering Services at Sutherland. Dr. Lakshman has a wealth of experience managing talent strategies across India and USA. She's passionate about integrating innovative recruitment practices with traditional methods, like, for example, to build resilient teams in such a way that it helps the organization at a better level. He has previously worked with multinational companies like Innova Solutions, Allied Solutions, and few others. So it's great to have you here, Dr. Lakshman.
Thank you so much, Akash, for the warm welcome and equally excited to be part of this panel. CEO.
Right. All right. So let's get right into it. So, Sagar and Lakshman, before we deep dive into today's topic, I'd like to request you guys to take us through your journeys. Can you share us stories with us from your early days to becoming the leaders you are today? So, let's start with you, Sagar, first.
Yeah, sure. So, my background is essentially a sports background. I've been a sports professional for about 20 years, and then I moved into talent acquisition as a function. And I would say it was by accident, to be very honest, and by choice as well, because when I was asked at what am I good at, so I said I can deal with people, right? I can make or I build relations. And the person who was interviewing me said that okay, probably HR is the right stream for you, and then that's where I started my HR career. I've worked across Singapore and India, managing teams that are based out of APAC. So about 10 years in Singapore and 10 years out of India, building captives. And my current role remits to build the GCC companies that are basically establishing themselves in India. So I've been into this space for last 20 years now, and looking forward to the next 20.
Great. So, Sagar, from your experience, what exactly defines a digital nomad, and why do you think this trend has gained so much momentum in recent years?
Certainly. I think, Akash, as you mentioned, right, nomad hiring is about finding the talent regardless of location, right? It basically allows the organization to tap into global talent pools from anywhere across the globe, right? And essentially it offers flexibility, it offers cost efficiency, and it helps the companies to build at scale across the world without really ring fencing any specific geographies. And I think it makes a lot of sense, especially after COVID. This is proven that people or organization can operate out of anywhere with efficient output. So this trend is definitely growing, and it is adding a lot of value. So I definitely feel that it is here to stay.
All right. So, Sagar, are we looking at a revolution now in the way we think about work, or is this more of a temporary response to recent global shifts, like you said, COVID? What is it?
Uh, I feel this is here to stay.
Okay.
right? Essentially, I feel that from output perspective, right, it is definitely not dipped down, right? So if you give people freedom, I think necessarily, even with the freedom, it for the output has not been affected, right? The companies have not started going south, right? I think, as I said, people can work from anywhere, anytime, and I think it has actually added to the efficiency. So I don't think it is a fad, but it is here to stay. And I think most of the organizations I have worked for, or most of the organizations that we are setting up right now, uh, are into hybrid working or are into trends where they would like people to give the freedom to work from a hybrid perspective and from anywhere. So that is here to stay for sure.
All right, that's a very fascinating perspective. Of course, we also think the same way because we have also kind of have a hybrid of work from home culture, and we have people working from all over India locations. So that's great. Good to know.
Right.
So now, Dr. Lakshman, given your background in managing diverse talents across continents, right? How do you foresee the evolution of workforce? Models across over the next decade probably, right? What shifts should organization be preparing for now?
So one is we also need to understand that gig economy is picking up. It's not like just we are no more hiring a full-time job and we should stop expecting that somebody will work with me for 4 years or 5 years. That trend has already gone. So we are dealing with three generation of workforce now. So we are already having Gen Z, and I come from a background where I manage ITS as well. So within next 3 4 years, I also have Zen Alpha coming in.
Oh,
So I don't even say that digital nomad will also exist for quite some time. It can even fade off and something else can come. And now, again, I want to touch upon three important points. One is the kind of generation we are. When we started, I'm a typical millennial guy. When I started my career, I was in the kind of probably an industrial revolution where my father had one single job and we were all depending on his income. And when I started doing job where I was having all the required what you say the platform for me to operate, and I never had any financial dependency. So I had a privilege to choose my education or job which was of my interest, and from there I was only earning for a better life. And now, if you look at I was probably, I would say, I'm in a technology revolution where we moved from the man machine to the technology. And now the next is the social revolution, right? So your youngsters, especially the kids, so they already have everything set up. Now they have choice and preferences what they want to really make. So the evolution of workforce is rapidly transforming, and the technology is coming in all the platforms. So we never thought until COVID came in, like a BPO also can work remotely 100% with no disruption of the workforce. So now people are used to it. And how this digital nomad is helping them is basically I'm staying connected to my own priorities, my own life, my own family. So today, if I have a good access to internet and I can work anywhere, so that way work structure is also so compatible. But do you say it is applicable to all the industry? May not be. So now I could say IT is partially, but we still have a lot of sectors where we can't really put this kind of workforce. Maybe if you take about hospital industry or retail industry or any kind of emergency services. So we still are relying very much on the human intervention. But
correct.
what is going to change is the thought process. Basically, the need or the urge to work full time will change. That will transform. You'll see a lot of freelancers coming in. You see a lot of specialists that are going to evolve in the market. So that is where, as a company, as a kind of a talent strategist or HR, you need to ensure that you are creating a plan where you can engage this kind of workforce in a long run. And you should be ready to collaborate with multiple platforms, not just restricting that, oh, I will hire him full time and I want to gain his complete set of knowledge. No, that keeps changing. Technology is changing. And even as a HR, we also need to continuously learn. It is only continuous learning that is going to transform in the next few years. That's a takeaway.
Great insights, Lakshman. Okay, so it's clear that the landscape is changing fast. Let's take this a bit further. With the rise of digital nomads, how should organizations adapt their talent acquisition strategies to attract and retain top talent in a more fluid, location independent job market. Sagar, your thoughts on this?
I think organizations need to be more strategic and align with what the professionals are looking for, right? And I would like to touch upon probably a couple of what do you say approaches that they can have. One is flexibility, right? It's important to highlight that flexibility and autonomy your organization offers, right? It's important to relay that message. Second is invest in technology. Make sure there is right technology, there is right connectivity, infrastructure to support remote work. I think that will ensure, to what Dr. Lakshman was saying, that you feel connected, right? So there is an assurance that there is enough all the communication lines are open, right? And it helps to collaborate. And another one is have a remote friendly culture, because as we were discussing, that it is here to stay, right? You have to agree, or you have to build the psyche of the organization, right? That it is here to stay, this is the way forward. And I think communication and engagement should be prioritized, and I think that will work very well and ensure that one is you're giving that flexibility, providing that flexibility. Next is you're ensuring that the channels of communication and investment in technology is there for everybody to stay connected. And third is, of course, ingraining that remote friendly culture where people understand that this is the way forward, this is the way organization operates. So if you have these two or three streams in perspective, I think it will help to hire the nomads.
Brilliant. Thank you for that, Sagar.
Yeah.
And Dr. Lakshman, what about grooming leaders who can thrive in these hybrid or remote environments? What should organization be focusing on to ensure leadership is equipped to handle such diverse teams?
Yeah, I think gone are those days where I want my leader to be placed at one place which is close to customer, which is placed to a locus. No. So I want my leader to be more of culture sensitive, who understand various thoughts, and especially the dealing with generations, right? I cannot deal with the same way I deal with a Gen X or a Gen Y or a Gen. So the person should be at most culture sensitive, first thing. And second thing is that mindset should be there to adapt for change, the change management, whatever we're trying to look at. And as everybody is talking about the AI or the Zen technologies, so the person, whoever is at the leadership level, should be able to adopt the technology. Because a lot of times I see some of the leadership, they will be having a resistance to change. I think that mindset to change or adopt change is one of the very critical factors, especially dealing with this digital nomad. And most importantly is having that flexibility to collaborate, where they can also work with diverse teams. I think these are the 3 4 things which will really make an impact.
Nice. All right. Let's bring in some questions from our audience, which has been posted. So we got some amazing questions lined up.
Yeah,
One,
before we go there, I wanted to ask you one quick question. Do you know how many digital nomads are there approximately as per the research? Any guess?
I would like you to share some lights on that. Please go ahead.
We are around 30 million, I think, 35 million. And I think in next 5 years from now, this is going to touch 60 million. And apparently, male population and female population, I don't see a difference,
Oh,
mostly more or less same. And a larger population is between the age group of 31 to 39 years. And what I have also noticed during my observations also is a lot of young workforce is predominantly interested to explore in this particular model.
correct, correct. How much is from India out of this worldwide data?
India, I'm not. I can say still. I would say they're not completely digital nomads. So today we
Correct.
are trying to, uh, what you say, digest the culture of nomad. So today, I can no longer go to office all 5 days, but still I have the same or equal productivity working from home. I think we are still in that stage. Or maybe today I am going to an outside of my city and I'll connect from there, but ensure that my deliverables are not impacted. I think that way we are still able to buy in. Erstwhile, if you look at if I want to go to my family, extended family, or any place, I manage to keep a leave. But today that is not required. All that I will first check is, do I have an internet connection? Okay, possibly I'll tell that, hey, today I might log off early. That is what the world is evolving. So that way my productivity is also improving because I'm not taking on and off for very small things. right? So we are already in the culture of digital nomad. Possibly we are not going around the beaches or traveling around the cities and doing, but we are already adopting the digital nomad culture. So when I started my career, I started with a physical desktop where if I have to do work, either I have to come early, extend my work hours, or even work on a Saturday, Sunday. From there, I moved to a laptop. So now we have all the infrastructure that is there. So we already have transformed and we are still ahead in terms of this transformation.
It's more of the company enabling their employees. So the companies who have adopted this have seen the productivity rise.
Yep.
It started with, I think, more or less, it started with COVID, where tragedy became an opportunity for us to evolve from what we are doing, right? I think that is where we got started from zero, and I think people see how the productivity rise, and if we give this opportunity to our people, right?
Yeah,
So I think.
that's right. Yeah.
All right, let's take the first question. This is really good question from an audience. What tools or technology do you recommend for managing a remote workforce effectively? So, Dr. Lakshman, I would like to hear from you on take on this.
Sure. Again, this is a very, I would say, a very a question which I cannot really answer to the point, but what is really needed is whatever the tools that are required for you to function. One is like if you want to stay connected in terms of your messaging, like Microsoft Teams or your Google Meets or WebEx, instant messengers, and then you have project management. So I think I would recommend whatever the basic prerequisites an organization need. I think that is something we need to adopt. So there are some licensed products. So there's something which you need to really procure. But basic standard things is your Microsoft products, a basic antivirus software that is anyway there as a part of your laptop when you configure it. But you need to have a good infrastructure. When I say infrastructure, it could be enabling even the security systems, because when you're working, being in digital nomad, you might be working cutting across geographies, cities, sometimes even in the country. So whether you are legally permissible, I'll take example like if you're working in countries like Dubai or China, so there you have some restrictions in terms of the softwares or maybe the kind of products. Like I cannot access a kind of any products of Meta or maybe some kind of Google products in these restricted countries. So how do you ensure what are the alternate platforms? So the basic prerequisites which we need to ensure are to be there, like I would say like WebEx, Microsoft Teams, or your Google Meets, or any of your project management tools like Slack, or even Anyway Desktop for sharing if you want to share anything. So these are some of the tools which I would like to refer.
All right. Another related question which we have got, what strategies would you recommend for building resilience and adaptability in teams, especially in industries that face rapid changes and uncertainties? Sagar, I think you would have some more, great insights over for this question.
Certainly, I think one of it is having or driving open communication, right? Create an environment where the team member feels comfortable sharing concerns, ideas. Regular check-ins and transparent communications are the key, right? To ensure that you know team feel that they are heard. There is someone to listen to them. Second is flexibility. I think we have to develop that flexibility in terms of flexible process workflows that can be adjusted as needed, and I think empower the teams to experiment with new approaches. I think to what Dr. Lakshman was saying, right? It is very important to have that mindset. That is what is going to probably brew or ensure that you're building that culture, and of course following that is a supportive culture that is also required, to have an environment where people feel that there is enough that they can share, they are being heard, where colleagues help each other and there is more collaboration. So I think if you probably maneuver through these two or three things, it should get you there.
All right, great. Let's shift a gear. Let's shift the gear a bit. We know that many of our listeners are professionals, right?
Yeah.
Looking to stay ahead of the curve, right? So here are the question for both of you. What skills do you think will be most valuable for professionals in the next 5 years, particularly in the context of global remote or hybrid work environment? Right, Dr. Lakshman, why don't you kick off this first?
Okay, so there are two different skills. One is your soft skills, and the second one is your technology skills. So technology skills, I see a lot of digital transformation that happening. So anywhere, everywhere we talk about is AI, ML, cloud computing, blockchain, IoT, and then we have when technology is transforming, the biggest challenge would be the threat. So that's where you will also have a lot of cybersecurity related demand also that is going to come. So this is one on the tech stack which keeps coming, or this keeps evolving. I will not say today it is there, tomorrow it may or may not be, but these are some of the things which I would see at least a possible stay for next 5 to 6 years. And what will also happen again, there's a lot of low code, no code that is also going in the market where you will try to adopt rather than trying to build. So earlier, good olden days, if you take about 10 years, 15 years back, everything we already had a passion to build on our own and see how we want to scale up. Today, we are trying to take that plug-in or trying to adopt that systems and see how we can leverage. So today, time is more important than what building the products from the scratch. And more than that, the soft skills, right? So this person, individual who is working is remote or irrespective of the remote is, they should have the skill of being employable. Today, I see many engineers, sorry to say, but they study 4 years, but sometimes they fail to even exhibit like what they have really inherited in these 4 years. So are you really employable? So that is something which they need to invest on their interpersonal skills. And second thing is, think beyond the place or the geography what you're in. You should be having that global mindset, understand the culture sensitivity because you're dealing with multiple stakeholders. And the most important thing, especially, is you are having a lot of workforce that is coming with an entrepreneur mindset. So you cannot guarantee somebody will be there for 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. So it is the responsibility of the organizations to ensure that there is a learning mindset for them to grow and invest on them. So from this side of the world is they should be very much having a very strong interpersonal skills, understand the cultural sensitivity as I already said, and most important thing is stay updated and stay connected to what is happening in the digital world. So you should be always like your updated software to stay aligned to what is happening in the market.
All right. Nice answer on this. And Sagar, what's your take?
Yeah, I think I'll just like to build upon that. I think most important is digital literacy, because being proficient with the digital tools and platforms will be very, very crucial, right? As hybrid and remote work relies heavily on technology. So really, you really need to know what works, what is going to be important for you to collaborate. So I think digital literacy will be my top takeaway to build this kind of workforce. Again, I think self management, right? uh, Skills like time management, self discipline, proactive problem solving approach, because you want to ensure that you're staying productive and meeting deadlines without much of direct supervision, right? You're going to be on your own if you're going to work remote, right? So I think that would be, those two would be my takeaways to probably have yourself equipped to build that workforce for next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, and just to add on what Sagar said, I think I forgot to convey one more important thing is being adaptable. I think that is where you need to get align yourself to the changing market needs, and you should be like a glass. We should be very agile, where you should be able to take up that shape, whatever that transformation is happening. I think these are the most important things, and even your emotional intelligence also should be very strong.
Correct. Correct. It's more like all these things will, if you have a growth mindset, you keep
Yeah,
learning,
yeah.
innovating with yourself.
So to keep it in a nutshell, you need to behave like an entrepreneur. I think that is where the expectations will come.
Right. Right. All right. Now it's time to have a rapid fire round. Okay.
Okay.
So first we'll have this rapid fire round with Lakshman,
Okay.
and then with Sagar. So let's start with you, Dr. Lakshman. So what's the one book you have read that you think everyone should read at least once?
I think my famous book again, even till today stands good, is the Stephen Covey Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. I think that is something which I really strongly believe.
It's a nice book. If you could master any skill overnight, what would it be?
Overnight, okay.
Yes.
I again I am very I can't really sell that I want to master something overnight, but if I have to master something overnight, is I don't know how to swim. I think that is something which I would like to really master it if I get a chance. I think that way it helps you to manage very tough situations. If I have to really narrate back to my life, I think that is something which I want to really explore or even make my effort towards that.
And a good life skill to have, obviously. What's your go-to song to lift your mood on a tough day?
Okay, I do run almost at least thrice or four times in a week, and one song that keeps me motivated always is "The Shape of You." Whenever I feel like I need to take that extra mile to push myself, I think that song always enlightens me.
Ed Sheeran. Okay. What's one thing on your bucket list that you'd really want to check off?
Check off.
Yes.
I think being nice always. I think that is something which I also had some tough times being always nice. I think that is something I want to be little more sensitive about whom to be nice. I think that is something on my cards.
Okay. Nice. If you have one superpower, what would it be and how would you use it?
Okay, if I had one superpower, I would want to use that in the talent acquisition world to see whether this person is really interested to join me or not, or using my offer or not.
So then you will get the best talent always, right? So good.
Even AI cannot predict this person is joining or not until the last minute, because yeah, the person will always tell that, hey, I'm on the way to office. We doesn't even know that which office is on the way until he comes to my office. I doesn't even know where is he on the path.
You are really focused on your circle of competence, I would say. You would want the superpower also in that only. That's Name a place you would always have wanted to visit but haven't got the chance yet.
Okay, I think my life dream is to be with. Again, I am very much towards the mythological side as well. So my lifetime dream is to go to Manasarovar. I hope I stay fit to reach that place. So that is something which is on my cards.
If you could live one moment in your career, which would it be and why? Relive. Yeah.
Relive.
Yeah.
I want to go back to my school days and, in fact, study well than what I am studying now.
Isn't it the dream for everyone to relive their childhood life? Yeah.
Yeah.
Great answers. Thank you, Dr. Lakshman. Let's move to this rapid round to Sagar. Right. What's one piece of advice, Sagar, you would give to your 20-year-old self?
Be agile, uh, be modest, and live every day as it is your last day.
Nice. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Oh, wow. That's quite philosophical. Who would be? I haven't really thought about that, but who would it be? Hmm, I can't think of anyone. Yeah, I mean, I'm not very much into
Okay.
political or historical things, right? So I can't think of anyone. But if you give me options, probably I can choose one.
I don't know. I will tell you mine. Charlie Munger, who's recently passed away.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would definitely like to have dinner with him.
Wow. No. I don't really have an answer to it. So I'm going to disappoint you.
What's a talent or hobby you have that would surprise your colleagues?
Oh, wow. Um I think I don't talk lot about it, but I've been a professional cricketer for 20 years. So I think I'm quite decent at it.
Nice. So, which level you have played? Okay.
I've played at the national level.
Oh, nice.
It's
Yeah.
Okay, which one do you prefer between coffee and tea to
Tea.
kickstart your day and why?
Tea. I like to make my own tea in the morning so that it assures that at least I start the day with something I like and it probably takes off my day. So tea is my preferred go-to drink.
Okay, I'll point it to Lakshman as well. Please, you can tell on this one at least.
which one?
Coffee or tea?
I'm a tea person. I'm not a coffee person.
Oh, both are tea person. Okay, that's great. If you could teleport anywhere in the world right now, Sagar, where would you go and what would you do first?
Wow. Uh, I like I think going on treks. So anywhere where there are mountains, I would like to get teleported there. I like to walk as well. I like to trek. So anywhere where there is nature, where there is trek, where there are mountains, I would like to go there.
Okay. What's the most adventurous thing you have ever done outside of work?
Wow. Well, not many people know, but it's not an adventure. But I think the first time it, it it is not an adventure, but it could have been an adventure. Uh, I think I was going to travel to Sri Lanka, and I missed my flight, and I was going to stay in a hotel there, which was wiped off by tsunami. So I missed my flight there. So that would have been an adventure. I wouldn't have been here.
Thanks that you have missed out that adventure. Yes. All right. If you could be a character in any movie or TV show you like, who would you be and why?
Wow. I would like to be Charlie Chaplin, so at least I could make everyone laugh.
All right. So, wow, a very rich discussion we had today. I want to thank both Sagar and Dr. Lakshman Kumar for sharing their invaluable insights with us. It's been a pleasure hearing your perspective on what could be the future of work and even getting to know you better and your perspective and take on all the other things which we discussed. To our listeners, thank you for joining us today. We hope you walk away with some actionable ideas and a fresh perspective on how to approach talent acquisition in this evolving landscape. Okay, so at parting thoughts, if you can provide Sagar and Dr. Lakshman for our candidates who are freshers who are looking to join the workforce, what would be first? Sagar, you can go ahead.
I think most is important is be adaptable. Be curious, right? As Dr. Lakshman said, that it's an ever changing landscape, right? And you have to ensure that you're keeping yourself up to date so that you can fit everywhere and anywhere, right? In terms of this changing landscape. So that's probably my takeaway.
Lakshman.
Yeah, I think one important aspect which I want all my youngsters to be is you need to be agile and see what is changing in the market, and don't have certain fixed thoughts in your mind that I want to only go this company or I want to only go in this stream. I think this is where the roots are from the colleges as well. So I always keep telling to the placement officers and the faculties, don't inherit something, a brand or anything. Rather, induce in them like what they can transform in the next 4 or 5 years from now. And I also see a lot of people using jargons in the resumes. They don't even know the fundamentals of that. So what I also want them is to have your fundamentals very strong. So in this technology world, technology has been changing very rapidly, but your fundamentals are always strong. Somebody who has learned Java, that will never fade off, so he would have built on top of it or integrated or collaborated. So that's where I see you don't need to learn multiple technologies. You need to be adaptable in such a way that you can tune to any technology. Technology is a platform which keeps changing. I always tell the same thing when somebody will ask me like, "Sir, AI is coming. Will my job lose?" No. If you look at 15, 20 years back, I'm not sure how many of you learned, but I started my career in my college learning COBOL. COBOL was a program, and when
Yes.
I used to go and sit in the college to code it, and the first thing when I run the program, I used to get 400 errors. I used to see, God, did I write such a nasty program where I got 400 errors? And I used to pay attention again one more or second iteration. It used to be 10, or sometimes it used to run just like that. So that's where the program it is. And then we started getting into Visual Basic and .NET. So then the prompting came in. Now you also have ChatGPT and all variety of tools which will actually write emails for you, reply emails for you. Give so this lot of information is coming in the system. So today we have lot of data. There are platforms that are coming into retrieve the data what is there in the system. So you need to ensure that what skills you need to really acquire to make use of the technology. I think that foresight and adaptability is what these people should have. So I work with a lot of colleges, and I even do a guest lecturing for many colleges. So I keep the same thing is you need to stay updated. Don't just stick to your curriculum. If your curriculum needs a revisit, please go and do it. There is an advantage with many of the private universities where they have a option to go back and align or collaborate and set some incubation centers in their campus. So that way you're getting exposed to the real time world. I still see there are many colleges who are very backward, and there are many colleges who are even getting the placements from BTech second year itself, or maybe some of them are even ready, placement ready from first year itself. So that way, that kind of transformation is happening. So a lot of projects which are there, don't just do for a project's sake, but rather put your heart and soul to see how you can transform and use that particular solution in your future. I think that is where we should put efforts.
All right. One more thing, I'd like to understand your journey from childhood days, right? Hometown where you brought up. What was your early days in college? If you can give a little light on that as well about you, that would be great.
Okay, sure.
Lakshman, you
So
can. Yeah.
yeah, as Sagar mentioned, HR was never my choice. I started my education in a college called Nizam College. So it's purely a sports college. But I'm not a national player like Sagar, but I managed to play basketball. And my passion was to serve people. I think that is where I made efforts to join NCC. I did my 3 years course, and I went to national camp in Bihar. It was a BLC camp. We call it as Basic Leadership Camp. I think that is when I realized that my strength is people, working with people, collaborating with people. And then I passed out with BSc Computer Science. And when I made my effort to get into the market for a job, I think we were dealing with these Y2K issues, and market was so bad. And that was the time when, especially in the Hyderabad market, the BPM business was entering the IT's business. And when we were trying to make an effort to go and sit in the interview used to happen in less than 30 minutes in a room with 100 people. By the time I made an effort to open my mouth, we said, okay, these two can stay, rest all can go. I think that is where we started our career. And then I figured out, no, I think I need to go for higher education. And that is when I pursued my master's. And when I went for masters in business, I studied in Belgaum University, VTU. Uh, and then when I went, I felt like, okay, marketing is not my strength, finance is not my strength. The only option I had was HR. So that is when I pursued, and I had mentors in my life. So one of the mentor is Mr. Hari Krishna. He is the one who guided me, like, okay, you need to go through recruitment, and these are the possible areas and tech tracks. Like, so you have three tracks. At that time, we had only HR, training and development, and the talent acquisition. So the talent acquisition is evergreen, but yes, you need to have this background. So I had a technology background. So I was very happy, like whatever the technology I learned, I'm able to now speak to the candidates, understand what they're talking, and able to connect the dots. And that is when I started with a small company. And then I moved to a services company where I worked for 7 years. And I worked for Elite for 9 years. Now it is Strada. So after that, I joined Innova, and now with Sutherland. So all these days, my passion towards people helped me in multiple ways. And again, my long-term dream, again, I'm telling an open forum, is to serve people. So if all goes well, I might be aspiring to be in the politics as well.
Oh, nice. So
So
from
that is something which nobody knows about it. Yeah, but that
which
is a long-term
location you
plan.
like to, which location would like to contribute towards?
I don't know. So
Or
I have plans to see how I can serve people. So there's a different phase of life, right? So each way, I in fact intend to join CDS when I was doing my NCC, but my physical fitness didn't support because I had an injury on my left hand, so I couldn't clear that. So that was ruled out, and that is when I thought, what was the other option? So then HR is an option where I feel like today may not be like a social service, but I feel pride in giving employment to everybody because we are indirectly or directly contributing to their livelihood. Every fresher, whenever they come back and tell that I got an opportunity just because of the platform you gave, it gives me very happy and joy rather than whatever I make out of myself. I think that is something which always keep me engaged and motivated.
Sagar, what about you?
Yeah, so I've been born and brought up in Pune. So I've lived for the first, I think, 22 years of my life in Pune. I completed my graduation in commerce from BMCC College.
Mm.
And I think most of the time I was on cricket field even during my college days. So I've hardly really sat in any lecture, right? I continued playing, but I think in 2009 and 10, 9, I realized that if I need to further my career, while HR did happen by accident, I think I wanted to ensure that have some background or knowledge, right? Because as you grow in your career, it is very important to understand the nuances. While experience will teach you a lot of things, it is good to have some background in terms of how this whole mechanism works. So I did get admission into National University of Singapore, and I completed my degree in HR, and I continued from there. Stayed in Singapore for about 10 years, first 10 years, then moved back to India. Then again, I had another small stint during COVID back in Singapore, and then I'm back in Pune. And honestly, apart from Pune and Singapore, I really like Hyderabad. I think I do have a lot of clients in terms of infrastructure, in terms of connectivity. I think it's a great place to be. But yeah, I think that's the background in terms of what I've from an education perspective, from a career journey perspective. I think I've been into lateral recruitment and executive hiring for the last about 17, 18 years, and I absolutely love it. I think there is a new challenge every day. uh, to what Dr. Lakshman mentioned, right? It gives me pride when we're able to give jobs to people. It's good to see a smile on hiring manager's face when you're able to place the right candidate, efficiently within the timelines. That gives me joy. It still gives me joy. So I'm still in the job, and I hope I continue doing this for as long as I can.
Right. It gives us also joy to actually give a lot of jobs to our different candidate base through our so many customers who are hiring on our platform InstaHire as well. So yeah, it's a something which we really thrive on to do more help towards this, helping our candidates, helping general people to get kind of into the job and then learn from all the things which you guys then further guide them over the journey of the interview sessions as well, right? All right, I think that has been a great and fantastic session, right? I would like to thank Sagar, Dr. Lakshman, to both of you for giving us such an insightful understanding on everything. I'd like to thank our audience to be there as patient and be learning on all these grounds and contribute towards asking a lot of questions as well. Don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn, guys, for more updates on the next episodes and such. Until then, we keep innovating, we keep adapting. Most importantly, we keep thriving together. Right? Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you,
Yes,
guys.